Yo, what's up? It's Finsta Bundy. Um, this is a new show called In the Know that will be going on, creating a series right now, um, where I'm going to be in the know with a bunch of things, range of topics and stuff like that, things I figure that people should know. Um, will contain interviews and things of that nature in the future. But as for now, I'm going to set it off with a series I called Lessons I've Learned. You know what I'm saying? And it's just lessons I've learned throughout the years, um, coming up, making music and wanting to be in the music business and all of this other stuff or whatever, just wanting to make and create music. So, yeah. So as far as lessons I've learned, number one, I'm going to start off with where it started for me was IS-33, playing a recorder. Um, I don't think I necessarily had big dreams of being a musician or being in the music business, but I eventually grew to really, I always loved music, you know what I'm saying, because you hear music everywhere around, block parties and things of that nature in the neighborhood, radio, who didn't listen to the radio, tape songs off the radio and things of that nature. But as I got better, learning music theory and playing a recorder, things slowly progressed, we used to go out to malls and stuff like that and perform like holiday times and things like that. So, but in class, you get to see, you're learning music theory. I'm learning like classical music and things like that. It elevated to the point of saxophone. I really wanted to play the drums after a while, but I was designated to saxophone, which wasn't a bad thing, eventually, because I learned that and I got nice at it. It was pretty good. I guess I can't say I was developing a sound then. I was just, playing what I, was given. And after that, went on to high school, Bishop Lachlan and Mr. Maffei. Shout out to Mr. Maffei. And this is pretty much kind of where my lesson learned is begins, because I was playing the saxophone. I was getting good. By that time, I think I could play anything I heard, I could play whatever. If I heard it, I could play it, or I could duplicate it. I could write the notes on staff and all of that stuff like that. And it was crazy because I didn't really understand certain things about what it took. Well, I'll say it like this. I wasn't the greatest student, you know what I'm saying? So it took a hit. My musical journey kind of took a hit as far as playing the saxophone. Kind of took a hit because I was cutting class and things like that, and it got to the point where I was getting kicked out, right? And but even before I got kicked out, right? We were playing, we did shows and things like that. I actually wrote, we did a song, Anita Baker, You Bring Me Joy, I think it was. I forgot her name. Her name was Tabitha, something like that sang it on it. Anyway, but there was a saxophone solo part on there, and I played it. I didn't play it. My band teacher gave it to me to write the notes and put it together. So I wrote the solo, whatever, and then I gave it to him with the hopes of thinking like, yo, that'd be dope if I get to play it. But he gave the part to a senior, so I'm not even gonna say her name or whatever, like, because I was kind of mad because I figured I could have did it better or whatever. Considering I wrote it down, for them to have. But anyway, I digress. And anyway, so it was pretty good, But I think my band teacher, Mr. Maffei, kind of really wanted me to go off into my own thing. Like there was a we played for the New York City Marathon. They used to come by the school or whatever like that, and it was funny because one year, like cats in my band class and even seniors and stuff like that, they was like egging me on to play because you can get solos. We was playing Rocky, right? And but see, for me, the one thing I could really play well was "Love Is the Message," right? All that shit, right? So they wanted me to play that, and it was funny because my band teacher I think he wanted, Mr. Maffei, I think he really wanted me to break out and just like go into like my own type of thing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really grasp it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really get the understanding of the fact that, yo, this is how a lot of great musicians, they break out and just, play and improvise and do all of that stuff like that. Um, but at the time, I didn't really think about it like that. I just thought, hey, I just knew how to play this one piece really well. So when time comes, I'm going to play that piece. So they pushing me up, yo, play that, play that, play that. So I'm thinking about it, and it's like, I did it. I jump up, and then I started, but I did some other, whatever, fiddling and blah, blah, blah. I didn't really think about it. Um, and then time goes by, you know what I'm saying? That passes. I'm not really too happy about that. But either way, I stood up and I did whatever and blah blah blah. Time goes on, and it wasn't like I said, I wasn't the greatest student. So eventually, the dean, Mr. Dorney, I want to say something about him, but I'm not. I'll leave it alone. I'll just say I guess I wasn't the ideal student. So my mom get called up, get kicked out of there. You know, saying go to Bushwick High School, which starts another journey. But and I'll get to that later in another segment. But as for now, the thought of like Mr. Maffei actually kind of pleaded to my mom's like, yo, please try to keep him in here, blah blah blah. Like he was trying. There was a point where he wanted to teach me how to improvise and get better. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my people's Achille Haynes. That's another story too. But he's one of those people that actually got it and grasped it and ran and he do a lot of stuff. I guess basically if you do some research on him, you'll know he's out there. He's been doing his thing. But I thought about it and I was like, man. So my mom's like, she's paying tuition, so she's like, I'm not paying tuition for you to be some dumbass in school and not take it serious. So she took me out of there, and down the line, it kind of fizzled out and went somewhere else as I went to Bushwick High School or whatever. But in that moment, the lesson learned. Okay, long story short. Long story short is I had to realize that as you get good at something, it really does benefit you to take it serious and study. Like I've listened to jazz music and a lot of music, but in particular jazz, where people they built their style, they studied, they really did their homework and got to the point where they could branch off and whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying, right? And the lesson learned for me was I need to stop being stubborn. I needed to stop being stubborn. I needed to understand what was being taught to me and was being presented to me. Take that and go full-fledged with my saxophone skills. What I should have done at that time was listen to Mr. Maffei. Actually did better in classes and stuff like that, but took that time to hone my skills and did what I needed to do to get better at playing the saxophone. So my lesson learned was, see, she threw me off, so let me come back to that. What I had to learn was when you're presented with the opportunity to do better, to learn, take that advantage, learn, study, hear what people are trying to tell you, take heed to it, grab a hold onto it, grab a hold of it, and push, get better, do better, study, do your due diligence, take that, run with it. Because by now I could have been like a world renowned saxophonist, but I didn't take heed to that. So I kind of squandered that. And although my musical journey did go further beyond, I'll get into that on the next episode of In the Know, my lessons learned. But I just wanted to say, yeah, that's one of the things. If you have a talent, hone your skills, get better, don't stop, push, study the greats, study the music, practice, and get better. I wish I had got better at the saxophone, because right now I'd have been doing some whole other shit. And eventually I will probably pick it up again. That is a goal of mine. But lesson learned is hone your craft, study, practice, get better, and work hard. That was a lesson learned. And this is In the Know, Finsta. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.